Hello, Periscopers. I am just joining in right about 4:30 Pacific time. I am going to share. Thank you for joining, Christine, SL3. I'm going to try and share on Twitter, which means I'll miss a couple of you joining in. But I'm so glad you are joining us. There we go. Thank you for the couple who joined that I've missed. Ms. ARW, good to see you again. Thank you all for the hearts. Ed Lover 69, Veronica Joy, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I Just Believe, thank you for joining. Oops, let's see if I can get a good angle here. Decent angle. Hi, how are you? Hey, it's good to see you. Hello, SL3, Yiping. Oh, from British Columbia. I'll give us a moment to have a couple other people join. Please feel free to share with your followers. If you're on an iPhone, you can swipe left to right, or I guess it's that way for you all. If you're on an Android, bottom to top, and share with your followers, or share on Twitter or Facebook. I'm glad you're joining for Bipolar Faith. This may be one of our last weeks because I am going to slow down once I go on book tour. Oh, your book arrives soon. I'm so happy. Oh, hello from London. Thank you for joining from London. I know it must be late there. Thank you for watching. You watched the last one. I appreciate it. D3D99, etc. It's good to see you. Milton. Thank you, Milton. I appreciate it. Crystal O'Shawn. See, it's not complete till you join us. It's good to see you too. And I'm just going to go ahead and start because I'm always in a tight schedule and trying to get a late workout in before I start working on dinner around here. So I'll begin. My name is Monica A. Coleman. I am a professor of religion. I'm based in Los Angeles, California. And I am the author of the forthcoming, like July 1st forthcoming, book of Bipolar Faith, A Black Woman's Journey with Depression and Faith. And I come on Periscope every weekday around 4:30 Pacific time, give or take, to answer the questions that I get asked the most. And what I get asked more than anything else is what are my spiritual practices and how do I live faithfully with a depressive condition. And so I usually share about what I'm doing that day or what's come up in my life that day. And today I spent the day traveling. I was in Chicago yesterday having a great time with the Volunteers of America National Conference. And so I was traveling back. Yes, I will be in Oakland soon. And I actually spend a lot of time traveling. I travel for work, but I actually just like to travel. I like flying. I can sleep well on planes. I get a lot of work done. Thank you, Wi-Fi on long flights. I like to go to new places. I like to go to familiar places. I actually just enjoy traveling. And it made me think it's really restorative for my soul. I get to learn new things, see people. I've lived around the country, and so I have friends and family around the country, and I like to connect with them. And I began thinking about how important traveling is for so many religious traditions. Only we don't say travel, we say pilgrimage, right? How important it is to make pilgrimages, right? To travel to places that we know is holy. And some of the more famous ones are like the Hajj to Mecca if you're in the Muslim faith, and many people want to go back to the Holy Lands, the shared places of holiness among Jewish and Muslim and Christian traditions in the Israel-Palestine area. For me, I've always thought of Egypt and Ethiopia as holy lands because I've been so interested in Kemetan religion and in Ethiopian and Coptic Christianity. I learned about that at a young age. And many times, for many people, making these mass pilgrimages back to holy lands is important. But I've always had a much broader understanding of what makes a land holy, what makes a land important, where's a place I want to go. So there are times my soul craves going back to the places where I've met God, right? Wanting to go back to the church I grew up in, wanting to go back to churches I have worked in, or the churches of my grandparents raised me in, and sometimes just being in that space just feels so great. Going back to the church I was in college. For other people, it's just the actual act of traveling, of moving, of thinking more about the journey than the destination, right? That it's And so walking in a labyrinth can be a very meaningful spiritual practice. One of my favorite gospels is the Gospel of Luke, because it has this journey to Jerusalem, right? This part where Jesus sets his face towards Jerusalem, and most people are excited that he's going to go to Jerusalem and there's going to be this moment, right? Triumphal entry, going to Jerusalem, all about the crucifixion. But to me, I'm like, let's talk about this journey, right? So that the pilgrimage is really about the journey as much as it is about the destination. It's really about what we pack, how we travel, what we learn, who we encounter, how we grow when we're trying to go to those places where we meet God. And just like it happens in many holy texts, we meet God on the way, right? We meet God as much on the way to the destination as we do in this place that our soul craves, in this place that is meaningful for ourselves, for our people, for our religion. I'm setting out on some pilgrimages soon. I might share that with you all as this comes up. Still in the works. And what's exciting is I think is going to be the encounter, the travel, the partnerships that are formed, just as much, right, as the destination of where I go. And I think this is a really important spiritual practice for everyone, but I think it's also important for those of us who live with depressive conditions. I think it's so important not to get overly focused on the destination, right? To be like, this is where I want to be, and this is how I have to get, how I have to get there. Because it can be frustrating when you can't be where you want to be. You can't do what you want to do, which is such a common response, right? For those of us in a reality, for many of us who live with depression, I'm never able to do what I want to do. I'm never able to be all of who I want to be. Like, there's so many things that are undone, so much I haven't accomplished that I would love to do. And the more I've learned to focus on the journey, on the traveling, on the way there, the better I feel, and the more I'm able to find God in those moments, to find God in the journey, in the traveling. And so if I get there, great. And sometimes I get there and don't even care because the journey has been such a good experience. And so I wanted to share that I think some kind of pilgrimage, for some people, again, it's walking a labyrinth in a large space. It's walking parks or hiking trails. And sometimes we're able to make these more monumental pilgrimages, or we just take time to go back to the places that our hearts and souls feel safe. Check out yesterday's for me talking about safety, right? Just to go back to places or to find new places where we are spiritually safe and emotionally safe. I think it's always worth a pilgrimage back to somewhere we've been before. And to be willing to go on some new journeys, go to some new places. To me, that's a spiritual practice. I find so much God there, even when it's difficult, even when I don't know what's going to be there, when there's a lot of risk, when there's a lot to take care of. When there's a million details, there's still room for miracles, room for surprises, room for new encounters with holiness, and room for growth. And isn't that what it's all about? So that's what I wanted to share today. Again, if you pre-ordered Bipolar Faith, people are telling me it is arriving, and you can still pre-order it. Barnes & Noble, actually I think it's regular order now, right? Barnes & Noble, Amazon, your local independent bookseller. If you're in the Los Angeles area, you can find me in Irvine on Sunday morning at Christ Our Redeemer AME Church. And if you're in the Oakland area, I will be there in a week and a half, and I will be there on July 10th at Allen Temple Baptist Church. And you can find more information on my website, monicaacoleman.com. You most certainly can order the book to the UK. Yes, you can. It should be on Amazon there too, and I'd be so honored. Again, I am Monica A. Coleman. I am a professor of religion based in Los Angeles, California. And I am the author of it drops on July 1st book, Bipolar Faith, A Black Woman's Journey with Depression and Faith. And thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts. I feel the love. Please catch the replay or join again tomorrow when I come back on. And it's so good to see you. I see you, Najuma. I see you, Milton. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. It means so much, and I will see you soon. Take care.